The wind had teeth in Ohio, sharp enough to slice through wool coats and pride alike. Zarachi had learned to layer her clothes the way she layered her silence, thick, protective, and unnoticed. "You're too sensitive," he would say. "That never happened. You're lucky I even married you." Zarachi would stand in the bathroom sometimes, palm pressed against the cool mirror, whispering in Igbo, "Ekabumo, you are still me." They met at a Nigerian independence gala downtown. Dele was charming, loud in a way that made rooms orbit him. He loved to say he was American by opportunity, Nigerian by blood. He told her he admired her ambition. The red flags arrived, dressed as affection. He insisted on joint accounts to build together. He suggested she leave her job temporarily so you can rest. He handled all the bills so you don't stress. Stress still came. It came when he criticized her accent in front of his friends. It came when he'd flirt openly and call her jealous for noticing. It came when he'd disappear for nights and return with a grin and a story that never quite aligned. "You need therapy," he'd say. "You're projecting." By year 3, Zarachi barely recognized the woman who once navigated Lagos traffic with fearless precision. She moved carefully now, like someone crossing thin ice. She found a remote contract position, consulting on maternal health initiatives for a nonprofit based in Texas. Dele dismissed it as cute side work. He never asked about the payments. He didn't know she opened a separate online account in her maiden name. He didn't know she set up paperless statements. He didn't know she memorized every password. She cut back quietly. Grocery coupons, canceled subscriptions, selling old designer handbags online. Every dollar was a brick in a bridge back to herself. "You're shrinking," Erica said one afternoon over coffee, "and you weren't built small." The confession spilled out like water from a cracked jug. Gaslighting, isolation, the constant belittling. Erica didn't interrupt. She just reached over and held Zarachi's hand. "He monitors your emails?" Erica asked. "Sometimes. He says it's transparency." "And your passport?" "In the safe. He keeps the code." Erica leaned back. "Okay. Then we don't move loud. We move smart." Zarachi claimed she needed her passport for a conference application. Dele punched in the safe code carelessly, assuming she wasn't paying attention. She was. Later that night, when he was in the shower, she retrieved the passport and took photos of every page. She returned it before steam left the mirror. Erica offered her apartment address for any mail. Together they filled out renewal paperwork online, scheduling everything for times Dele was at work. A one-way flight from Cleveland to Lagos, with a short layover in Atlanta. Booked using Erica's laptop, on Erica's Wi-Fi, paid from the secret account. Departure, 6:15 a.m. on a Tuesday. Dele had an early client meeting that morning. He'd leave at 5. Zarachi would leave at 5:10. They were hosting brunch. Dele, in a fitted turtleneck, was telling a story about how he rescued Zarachi from obscurity. "She'd probably still be hustling in some clinic back home if not for me," he joked. Laughter rippled around the table. Zarachi felt something inside her go still. Not broken, not shattered. Still. "You diminish me in front of people," he smirked. It was a joke. "God, you're exhausting." She looked at him carefully, at the practiced charm, at the empty empathy behind his eyes, and she realized something freeing. He would never change. You cannot pack a life into 2 suitcases without grieving it. She folded Ankara dresses her mother had sewn, slipped photographs into a manila envelope, left behind wedding albums. In the closet she paused over her bridal gown. White silk, imported lace. Darl had insisted on the most expensive option. She closed the garment bag and left it hanging. Erica stored one suitcase in her trunk a week before departure. The second would leave the morning of. Zarachi cleaned the house thoroughly the night before she left. Not for Dele, for herself. She wanted to walk out of order, not chaos. "Dele, by the time you read this, I will be gone. Not missing, not confused. Gone. You taught me many things, but the most important lesson was clarity. I now see that love without respect is just performance. I wish you healing, though I will not wait for it. Do not look for me. I am not lost." She placed it on the kitchen island. At 4:47 a.m., Dele kissed her forehead. "Don't forget to transfer money for the HOA, he mumbled. "I won't," she said. She listened to his car pull out of the driveway. 5 minutes. 10. She exhaled. Erica's headlights blinked outside like a signal fire. Zarachi walked through the house one final time, touched the wall by the staircase, the kitchen counter, the doorknob. When she stepped outside, the February air cut her lungs, but it felt clean. They drove in silence at first. You ready? Erica asked gently. Zarachi looked back once. The townhouse sat still, unaware it had lost her. I've been ready for a long time. Airports are liminal spaces, no longer where you were, not yet where you're going. At security, her hands trembled slightly. What if he'd somehow tracked the purchase? What if he called right now? Her phone buzzed. Her heart slammed. It was a spam email. Erica squeezed her shoulder. Breathe. As Zarachi handed over her passport, she felt the weight of it differently. Not as a document he controlled, but as proof of her autonomy. She texted Erica one final time before boarding. Thank you for seeing me when I couldn't see myself. Erica replied instantly. Go home, Z. Build something beautiful. When the plane lifted off from Cleveland, Zarachi pressed her forehead to the window. The city shrank beneath her, roads becoming threads, houses becoming specks. She expected to feel guilt. Instead, she felt space. Somewhere over the Atlantic, she slept deeply for the first time in years. Her mother's face crumpled when she saw her at arrivals. You didn't tell me you were coming, her mother whispered. I needed to arrive before I explained, Zarachi replied. Humidity greeted her like an embrace. Lagos was loud, unapologetic, alive. Car horns layered over street vendors' calls. The air smelled of diesel, ocean salt, and roasted corn. Back in Cleveland, Dele found the letter. He called, texted, emailed. He raged, then pleaded, then threatened legal action. Zarachi changed her number. For the first few weeks, she woke up expecting criticism, expecting correction. But mornings in Lagos came with sunlight that poured generously through open windows. No one monitored her tone. No one edited her laughter. Erica and she spoke weekly over video calls. He spiraled? Erica asked once. Apparently, Zarachi said calmly. But I no longer orbit him. Freedom was not instant euphoria. It was quiet reconstruction. She attended therapy. She relearned her voice. She reconnected with university friends. One afternoon, she stood at the beach, toes buried in warm sand, and realized something profound. She had not escaped just a man. She had escaped erasure. Her secret funds still had money left. She used part of it to launch a maternal health outreach program in underserved communities outside Lagos. She named it Uzo Initiative, My Way. Months later, an email arrived from Dele. A single line. You made me look foolish. Zarachi stared at it for a moment. Then she deleted it, because she finally understood something he never would. Leaving wasn't about humiliating him. It was about honoring herself. That night, as generators hummed softly in the distance and Lagos pulsed with life, Zarachi stood on her balcony. The sky stretched wide and uncontained. For the first time since she had stepped onto American soil years ago, she felt entirely, undeniably whole, and in the warm West African air, she whispered, not in fear, not in doubt, but in certainty, I am still me,